Alright, Pisces, we're ready to do your reading. Little update, I've got, who is it? Taurus and Scorpio right now that I am uploading, so this should be good. I'm going to do Pisces and Cancer and try to do Libra tonight, so bear with me. I've had technical difficulties, but let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to choose your deck and then we will get started. Alright, so tonight we will be using ViseVersa tarot deck, which I've been using a lot lately and I've been really enjoying that one. And so I'll talk a little bit about how this works. I'm an intuitive reader, so I will shuffle the deck and some cards will tend to jump out at me and we'll go ahead and use those. I will pull 10 cards. I set that out in kind of a story, so 5 on top, 5 on the bottom, but I read it straight across. Sometimes it's not how it really comes out. Sometimes as I'm going through the cards, I'll see some that are really feel connected, and we'll go with that. So we'll just see how it all comes out. Excuse Dobby, he's got the zoomies right now. I do have my computer over here just keeping an eye on the downloads and stuff. We'll go ahead and get these going. It's funny, the devil has been coming up a lot and it just came out in your reading. We're at 5 now. We also have, I want to say it is the moon. Or it's either the moon or temperance. I will double check on that one. Number 18. It is, there are so far 2 major arcana in your read. Alright, just 1 second, I'm going to go ahead and change the settings on this because it's going to keep kicking off. Sorry about that. Alright, so we have the 2 of Swords. That is the front and in reverse, and it came out normal. Then we have the Devil, which it came out facing up, and then in reverse, that is what it looks like. And then this is the one that I need to check. By the way, I did set aside the rest of the deck here in case we need a clarifier. Typically, I don't need to clarify with this deck. And yes, the next card is the Moon. This is the one that I was talking about. I wanted to verify if it was the Moon or Temperance. That is the Moon. That is the front, and that's how it came up. And then in reverse, that is what it looks like. We have the 6 of Wands. Came out facing the front, but this is what it looks like in reverse. The 2 of Cups. It came out facing this way. but that's the reverse. We have here the Ten of Swords, and that's what it looks like in reverse. And I want to say this is Justice. Let me double check. It is Justice. Came up in reverse. And that is what the front looks like. We have the Five of Wands. And that is what the reverse looks like. We have the Knight of Swords. And here he is in reverse. And the Six of Pentacles. And that is what he looks like in reverse. So we have 3 major arcana here, so there's kind of a shift happening. We also have the Ten of Swords, which signifies the conclusion of a cycle. This could be a way of thought. Also, we have the blacked out. I want to say that's the sun, that this is an eclipse, which also signifies cycles. And then we also have the moon with a lunar eclipse, and this is the moon card. So a lot of cyclical changes coming up here on the board, and but it's not speaking to one specific area. It's very different. So back at the beginning, we came out with the Two of Swords, and here you can see that she is not really looking at anything. I mean, she's blindfolded, so she can't see anything, but you can see that there's a raging storm around her. But then on the back, everything looks calm. So I would say that it's not clear, the situation that you're dealing with, but you do know to everyone else. This is what everyone else is seeing, and this is kind of what you are experiencing. It's not necessarily a visible turmoil. And we have the devil coming up here. The masculine and feminine energy are both tied here. Not necessarily without abundance, and it is not in reverse this time, so this can also represent a Capricorn energy. So in your situation, you could be dealing with a Capricorn, but it's not necessarily 100% that it is a person. It could just be an energy. I'm going to go into the book here, and I don't usually, but I do have an impression on that. So for the devil, front facing, it says, desires of the ego that have long been denied, the resurfacing of primordial memories, profound desire, sometimes furious to return to your origins, intuitive and receptive intelligence, used with guile. So this speaks more to the situation than it does to this being a specific energy. But like I said, it can also, the devil is representative of Capricorn, so it could be either. You could be dealing with this situation where you're dealing with an energy relating to a Capricorn person, or it could be the experience of what it's talking about here, desires of the ego and the guile and having something come up from your past that you are dealing with. It is not necessarily a person, but it can be. With the moon here, this also speaks about secret hidden things and what is going on in the background. Kind of a mental state where you're not really saying what it is that's on your mind, but there's definitely something on your mind running in the background that is causing you some sort of uncertainty and anxiety. Here with the Six of Wands, it's like he just got through a fight, and so there's two different ways to see this, right? Because so this came up in reverse. I don't know why I can get a handle on this. This came up in reverse, and it doesn't look that way on the flip side. Here it's kind of like, you know, it's been a long day, yes, but like red sky at night, sailor's delight. Like he's not. That's not what it looks like here. Here it's like, yes, everybody won, but what was the cost? So you're on the winning side, but what did this cost you? And that comes up next to the Two of Cups, and this looks like a union, and there's a star over it, almost like it's blessed. But this is coming up next to the Six of Wands, so coming up to next to what did you lose? And again, this one is in reverse because this is the light side. This is the front of the card. So it's not saying that we lost this, it's saying that we lost this. So in some ways, this is you had this big fight and there's this big disagreement and kind of some confusion, but there's not confusion. Confusion isn't the right word. You actually gained clarity from this in this situation because you lost that darkness and ambiguity. This here, this is what's been taken away. This is what you lost here. This is what you lost. The confusion, you lost it here. Clearing this away for that. So this here, the Ten of Swords, that is that kind of breakthrough moment where you fought through this whole situation, and now like everything's said and done, and like you're beat up, you're broken. Even in the reverse, there's not really anyone to witness it, but here, this is the way it came up with a witness. So you're not alone in this. Like other people have seen that struggle, even though it was something that you were going through internally and you didn't necessarily share with everyone. People did notice that you were going through a lot, and they were thinking about you. And in another regard, that can be you being outside of yourself and seeing, observing your own experience and walking away with that. And the part of you that you needed to let go, you've let go of that, but now you are also observing how far you've come. We also have Justice here, which is the Libra energy. There's a butterfly on here. I would check into butterflies as a spirit guide. There's a sword planted in the ground, which is kind of like Arthur and Excalibur. And there's something kind of broken on the ground, and it's hard to see what it is. Oh, actually, it looks like you know how with old scales, you can see it here, how you have to hold them up in order for them to balance and to see their use. But here, those scales are on the ground. That's what's broken here. If it's not lifted up, it won't do anything. Like, it looks like it's broken. It may not even be broken, but it's not useful unless you hold it up. So here you see her, but this is not the way that it came up. It came up like this. So it's saying in order for you to have that perspective, you actually have to hold that up. You actually have to look at it and observe it. You can't just have it arbitrarily there but not exercise that mindset, that way of thinking, because Justice is very much a mental card. It is justice, it's air, it's that aspect of thinking. So don't go through all this for nothing. Examine the situation, hold it up to the light. This is the next one that comes up. And I always like this one because I think perspective is so important in this, in the Five of Wands. Here you just see two guys fighting, but if you turned it around, you see what's happening in the background. I always look at this as, don't be so focused on what's right in front of you that you don't see the bigger picture. And again, hold that up to the light. You see the whole volcano happening in the background. Don't be so focused on this that you don't see everything else that's happening, what you're gaining out of this situation. And here we have the Knight of Swords. And this is a really enthusiastic energy. It's kind of charging ahead. I mean, you can't see the ground. Like, he's flying. And when you turn it around, you even see that he's up there with, there's birds over here flying around with him. That's how high up he is, and he's not even worried about it. He's kind of getting a little bit carried away. So this is really interesting because it's a balance, but also air feeds fire, and this is the Five of Wands. So don't get so wrapped up in a situation you're like heated and vehement and passionate about it. And that's good. It's good to be passionate about a situation. But don't let your mind feed into that so much that you don't see in a clear and balanced way. Because Six of Pentacles, remember your ultimate goal. He's sitting there, he's observing what he has, he's thinking about it, he's planning how to get these. And he really has more perspective on what he actually wants to get out of the situation. So don't be so focused on the immediate that you get carried away and you forget to see the bigger picture. So Pisces, that is the Law of Attraction reading for your sign. Don't get so focused on the immediate that you don't remember to see the bigger picture. Don't get carried away in that mental aspect of things. Also think about what your ultimate goal is. Don't get just wrapped up mentally in the immediate situation. I hope this is helpful to you, and I hope that you have a great night.